Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to AAE 520. This is a course in experimental aerodynamics. This course is taught by Professor Steve Schneider. Currently, he is at SciTech for the entire week, so I will be substituting for him. I will be the TA for this course. My name is Prashanth Bangalore, and I sit in ASL, and I'll show you where my office is in a little bit. My research is in experimental detonations, and I study flame to detonation transition. So if you guys are interested in that area, feel free to stop by my office and you can ask me questions and we can discuss about that. How many of you have actually registered for this course, or how many of you have all of you registered for the course? Okay, cool. So this course basically helps you understand and learn about computer data acquisition, how to use wind tunnels, force balances, flow visualization using pressure probes, hot wire anemometer, laser Doppler velocimetry, and turbulence measurements. Some of these measurements you'd have seen in an undergrad level fluid mechanics or an aerodynamics lab or a course itself. So for all general purposes, the prerequisite for this class is an undergrad level aerodynamics class, which here at Purdue is the AAE 333 class. So if you haven't taken a course in aerodynamics, it might be worth just looking into it and seeing what concepts are being taught in that particular course. The reason why you're given a second session during the second week is so that you can iterate some of these measurements, because during the first week you might run some measurements and then you realize that the data that you have is not correct, or you're not happy with the measurements, or you don't have enough resolution. So what you want to do is you want to use the second week to work on that and ensure that your data is good and up to the standard. And between week 1 and 2, you can actually get in touch with Professor Schneider or me and kind of discuss on how your results look, and we can help you understand what to do to make things look better. This week we're going to do an experiment where we're going to study weight and drag measurements behind a cylinder that's placed in the flow in the wind tunnels. So the objective of this lab is to try and characterize the weight structure behind a cylinder that's placed in the wind tunnel, and by doing that we can calculate what the drag that is experienced by the cylinder itself is. And we're going to do this by using a hot wire anemometer, which is a new measurement device that we use in this lab. So the main motivation behind doing this experiment is to try and study the different forces that an object experiences when it's in a flow. And in doing that, we can optimize the shape of different bodies that are placed in a flow. So we can optimize, aerodynamic designs on aircraft or racing cars, etc. So we do this by first studying the flow behind a cylinder, which is one of the simplest objects that you can study. And there are analytical models that you can compare the flow behind this cylinder to. And so that's the reason why we use a cylinder. So to kind of give you an idea of how the weight structure is behind the cylinder, I have the schematic here. So it is the top view of the cylinder that is loaded in the wind tunnel. So you can see the weight structure behind the cylinder itself, and you can see a lot of vortices in the weight structure, and that is called the turbulent weight behind the cylinder itself. So if we measure the velocity some location downstream of that cylinder, you will see that the velocity changes from what the free stream velocity is, and as you go behind the cylinder, the velocity decreases, and as you move away from it, the velocity again increases. So that's the velocity profile behind the cylinder, and that's what we will measure and you will analyze. So in order to do this experiment, what we will do is we will first install a cylinder in the wind tunnel as shown here, and you will turn on the tunnel and set it to a velocity that you want to measure this weight structure at. And once you have that, you will use the hot wire probe, which is the probe that you can see at the farthest end of the wind tunnel. And that hot wire probe, when you start the computer program, will traverse from that end to the end closest to you and will stop at intervals of 0.1 inches. And at every location when it stops, it takes 1,000 data points over a span of 1 second, and then it moves on to a different location and does the same thing. And it gathers data over 14 different locations along the wind tunnel bridge itself. So the hot wire probe itself is based on the whole principle of a Wheatstone bridge circuit, and I have drawn the circuit out here. So if you take a basic Wheatstone bridge circuit and replace one of the resistors with the wire that is placed in the wind tunnel itself, that's what the hot wire anemometer is. So this one here is a constant temperature hot wire anemometer circuit. So what it does is it maintains a certain temperature across the wire that is in the tunnel, and when there is flow that passes over the hot wire, the temperature reduces. So the circuit provides a certain voltage across the hot wire, so the temperature comes back to the original value itself. And that's the voltage that the program that you will use will need, and you will correspond that voltage to a velocity, and that's how you can measure the profile behind an object that's placed in the ground. So let's go ahead and start the program. So if you can hit run, you will see how the profile looks. So you see that the hot wire is moving from the furthest end and is stopping at different locations. And in that span that it stops at each location, it gathers 1,000 voltage readings. And it shows you velocity profile on the screen. So right now that profile that you're seeing is a voltage profile that you will convert that to a velocity profile, and you use that for your analysis, and you can calculate the drag behind or drag experienced by this cylinder. So as part of this course, you are going to design your own experiment for lab 6, and a couple of ideas you can use are, you can measure the weight behind the cylinder, and you can also measure the weight behind the cylinder, which has a suction device on the cylinder itself. So you're sucking the boundary layer of the surface of the cylinder. So you'll see a different weight structure profile that the hot wire measures. So you can compare the drag behind those two objects, or you can possibly even mount a smooth ball and a golf ball in the tunnel and measure the weight on a two-dimensional plane, and then you can compare the weight profile between these two structures. So those are a couple of ideas that you can possibly use for your labs. I TA'd the undergrad version of this particular course, and if any of you have taken that particular lab, you were introduced to some flow visualization as part of that lab. And here you will use some advanced flow measurements and flow visualization techniques, and make more advanced analysis based on all of that. So you kind of see a transition from an undergrad level to what you will use here in this particular course. One of the other important aspects of this lab is to understand what you want to measure. Each lab has n number of parameters or measurements that you can make, but you need to understand that you cannot measure all of them in the time allocated to each of your groups. So you need to come up with a plan and objective for each of the labs, and a story attached to it, and you can write up a report based on that and make your measurements according to that. So that's the reason why there isn't a set procedure attached with it. Each group can have their own story, and this is kind of will kind of give you an idea of how a master's or PhD research goes on. You're only given a particular idea that you can run with, and then you can run thousands of measurements, but then you need to decide. Let's say for a master's thesis, you have 2 years' time, and then you need to decide what you can actually measure and come up with a story based on those measurements. So that's kind of the idea behind this course. It will kind of give you an experience as to how to run these projects. So there are different scenarios. You can see that this has one of the cylinders move in the axial direction. If you kind of scroll down, there's a problem where there are concentric cylinders further down, I guess. So you see this one moves in the azimuthal direction, and there's one, I think the last